What is up, gamers? NanMans here, back with some more modern action over at NanMans Nerd Corner. This time around, we've got our Izzet Eldrazi versus our Mono Blue Control. Two decks that have been kind of created and brewed up at our shop, with these two players kind of constructing decks that they feel are fun, for them at least, you know, enjoyable, a little bit out of the norm that you might see, because there's a couple different variations of control decks that run around. There's a couple different Eldrazi decks that run around, but neither are really doing what these two decks are doing. And there's going to be some cards that are going to show up in this match that are very unique to both these players, so it's going to be a really cool one if you're interested in kind of seeing some of these new decks, if you will. Now, starting off with a Tamiyo, this is sort of that very powerful Modern Horizons 3 Planeswalker, generates clue, so get some card advantage that way. Also flips into a Planeswalker, so we're going to see what ends up happening when that's out. Is there a way to kind of deal with it? I mean, with the Eldrazi package, we know that there's going to be like Cosmic's Commands and other things like that, so far, basic lands getting shuffled or drawn up here. So that could be one of those, like, a lot of lists like to run around and play cards like, Harbinger of the Seas and things like that. So, going, hey, I don't need to worry about fetching and shocking and doing things like that. Basic lands do the job for me. And we're going to see an attempt to get a Thundertrap Trainer out here. Try to gather up some tools, some resources. Ooh, speaking of the Cosmic's Command there, Preordained Cosmic's Command. Looks like we're going to go for the Preordained option here instead. Thundertrap Trainer is a cool card. Both players playing some sweet wizard cards. Of course, if you've seen my Izzet Wizard / Izzet Twin list, it is the kind of combination of both. It does run both of those creatures in there. But you see, is there no third land for our Eldrazi player? Ooh. One of the best kind of control cards out there. Oh my gosh. So Narset, and then we're going to find a Days Undoing right after that. So this is that panic scramble mode. Narset, of course, prevents any additional drawing. So that Preordain that we picked up on, not going to be as useful. Do we have a counter spell? No counter spell. I don't know. Go for the Talisman here. Play Talisman and just sort of ramp and be ready, because so next turn with Days Undoing, we're going to lose our entire hand, except for one card. Essentially, we're going to be able to draw one, but it's Thundertrap. I don't like that. We need mana. Whatever card we get is irrelevant here. I mean, we're going to have threats on the board. The problem is Tamiyo is going to flip, and then these 1/2 otters are not going to actually be able to do anything. Once Tamiyo flips, you can minus the attack of creatures. So I don't know. I like the idea of a Talisman. That kind of sets us up in a much better position there, especially if we're going to be losing our entire hand. Yeah, so here's Days Undoing. Of course, with Narset out, each player can't draw more than one card, or each opponent, sorry. So that means our Izzet Eldrazi player is going to shuffle everything in and be able to draw one card. Now, we're casting it on our turn, so that means turn's over. But we get a brand new set of cards. Here's 7 new cards that we can be able to kind of set ourselves up and prepare for. And Tamiyo is going to flip behind all this, so it's like, this is the power of control in Modern, is it's kind of on the back of powerful Planeswalkers. Every so often we'll try some different variations of control and different variations of decks, but it really is very much of like, if you're going to be playing Narset, you should be playing Days Undoing in Modern right now. Oh wait, Tamiyo. Oh, we missed the trigger for Tamiyo. Okay. It is a trigger, and you can miss it. So there is that element of not flipping Tamiyo there. I guess that there is that benefit. Ooh, Archmage's Charm here. Let's draw 2 cards. We'll flip it now. So should have flipped last turn, but that's okay. You know, we're noticing little things here. But yeah, we did draw a land. We have a Jace here for our Izzet Eldrazi player, but what are we going to be able to set ourselves up for? Did we just discard that? Oh. All right. Here's... Just kidding. I'll have to discard one card. All right. Anything else? No, nothing else. Okay, so it looks like Reality Smasher was drawn. Yeah, I just keep going back to that. If we had a Talisman over that second Thundertrap Trainer here, we would be in a much better position. Up to 4 mana, would have been able to have placed our Jace. Yeah, we would not be able to Brainstorm, but we could Fate Seal and try to set ourselves up and keep upticking it and looking at our opponent's deck and deciding whether they get it or not. So lots of untapped blue mana, very dangerous to go into, but we're going to attempt to do a Cleansing Wildfire. That's immediately met with a counterspell, putting a stop to any of that game plan. And now we're in this sort of... This happens from time to time in certain positions of this like almost lockout spot, but you're like playing for your outs. Consult the star charts coming up. Very nice. I still need to pick up more of them. Please remind me, y'all. I've picked up one. I need to pick up some more. The card's sweet. But yeah, I definitely want to pick up a couple more versions of it, or a couple more copies of it, I guess I should say. All right, did you guys enjoy your pre-release of Avatar Last Airbender? This video came out right after the pre-release. Sadly, I was AFK all weekend and unable to attend one of the pre-releases, but I've already started doing some brewing on MTGO of at least like, oh, I want to try out an ally deck. I want to try out the mole badger mole deck there. I've got a couple ideas for the badger mole stuff. If you guys have not seen this card, it seems really cool with how it is. So it's the Badger Mole Cub specifically. It's a 2/2, and then when it enters, you Earthbend 1, and then when you tap a creature for mana, add an additional green to your mana pool. But the Earthbend, put a +1 counter on it, and then if that card would be destroyed, exiled, anything like that, make sure that you bring it back tapped. So I want to be able to... I have two ideas in mind. One, I'm going to be just sort of like adding it into almost a hardened scales package. So I can be able to, sit here and Earthbend off my Urza Sagas, because that sounds fun, and do a little bit more toolboxy with like Tezzeret and stuff like that, and see how kind of control-y I can get with it, and even put a couple of Karn. So it's like semi-hardened scales, artifact control package. The other way I'm trying to do it is with like a landfall, demolition field, blue-green kind of annoying deck. So we're going to do some testing with it. But as we see back in our match here, an attempt to play a Murktide, big dragon here, 4 counters on it. We'll attempt to do a mana leak, and that's going to get met with the, of course, 3 mana. I'm going to say, Spell Snare there, it looks like came out to put a stop to that. Yeah, I like the mana leaks that our Izzet Eldrazi player runs, because it's like, I can't guarantee that I'm going to have double blue to do a counter spell. But oftentimes a mana leak is essentially a counter spell in a lot of instances. Okay, tough position in game number 1 here. Doing the fetching, setting ourselves up. But if we can be able to get this Jace to resolve, we can bounce the dragon back to hand. Let's see. So Jace coming out, but nope, counterspell is ready for that. I'm going to say, no, you may not. And passing the turn. Is it time? Did we uptick it enough? All right, there's 7 coming across. Oh, replace the Narset here. All right, I like that. Just kind of keeping our Eldrazi player in check for a little bit here. They top deck a land, though. They've got a Reality Smasher coming, which will be really nice because you can kind of smash in, get rid of Narset. You can at least keep Tamiyo in check. Lots of mana, though, available for our blue control player. So, yeah, that's the thing. It's like we see how is this blue control player going to close out the game. They're opting for the Murktide, and that is the kind of debate on where you go to close a game out. Like, there is the blue-white control where you can be like Isochron and kind of lock people out, but Bolt coming. Do some zapping. Yeah. All right. Castle Lochthwain there, or whatever, however you pronounce that, doing some scrying and setting or drawing course. So a lot of good setup here with all the mana, but that's the kind of been this game, right? Is like another Consult the Star Chart's going to get used here, and we're going to set ourselves up, do some looking. I mean, look how low the deck is after the Tamiyo ult, though. Like, the deck is, your hand is so full, what more do you need? What else are we looking for here? Oh, well, we're going to find a counterspell. Phew. Yeah, we're basically, like, trying to just kind of close things out with the Murktide, and there is another one. And let's see, how much do we got to get rid of here? It's like, as long as we get rid of 4 things, we win here. Okay, we did. All right. So the other Murktide does get to see, yeah, and this is the explanation going on. Hey, the last line of text, whenever an instant or sorcery card leaves your graveyard, put a +1 counter on Murktide reagent. So nice little double up, powered up. Let's go swing in for 11 to finish off the game there. So yeah, looking for ways to close it out. You like it. Like seeing that. Going into sideboard time for both players.
Gameplay to let you know about our new affiliate with NerdGear. Nerdgear.gg/NanMan will take you directly to the website, and as you can see, they've got a bunch of awesome gaming accessories from playmats, life counters with the life tracks, playmat holders, and more. So make sure you do some browsing on the site, find some goodies, and then use the code NGNanMan for 5% off your entire order. But let's get back to our gameplay.
All right. So getting into it, of course, we do have our Nerd Gear adventuring with our affiliate code and everything going on there. So especially as we're getting into November, December time, if you're looking for gifts for friends and family related to it, I highly recommend you checking out their awesome stuff so you can be able to see what sort of goodies there are. I'm a big fan of the life tracks personally, but you know, get some goodies for the holidays there. Another Thundertrap trainer. Stern Scolding is going to put a stop to that. No added value there. So we'll see as the sort of frustration of going, okay, I just need to get a threat out here. I need to get some good power, some good resources here. All right, 3 mana, but nothing else to do with it, looks like. And that's always that kind of like, okay, I see you're not going to do anything yet. All right, you're just going to land go, which I love a land go match, but it's always that nerve-wracking moment of like, oh no, I don't have any, Cavern of Souls in my Izzet Eldrazi deck, which maybe might be worth it to consider. I mean, they are a bit expensive though, and if you're, balling on a budget and just want to slowly build up your collection over time, that's perfectly reasonable and fine. I think I only have like a play set, and they're scattered, of my Cavern of Souls. Like, I think between my cube and commander decks and stuff like that, I'm not actively playing any in Modern. All right, Talisman of Creativity. We talked about how good that would have been last game. Narset is going to be the follow-up for our mono blue player. What do we find? Anything good? Counterspell. That's nice. Okay, so can't cast it at the moment, but maybe a Force of Negation or something could come out, but doesn't look like it. Let's see. Trying to map it out. 3 mana. Null Drifter. Cast it, draw 2 cards, and then the Annihilator 1. And with the Evoke trigger, we're going to consign that so we can keep our Null Drifter out. Ooh. Okay, so this is what we're talking about, the control aspect. Suspend, a card that you almost never see, at least in Modern, all right? Every so often you might see it in Commander, things like that, but, like, I think that's a crazy play. Like, in these moments of you're just like, you know, go away for a little bit, I just need to delay long enough to set myself up. It is crazy powerful. Sometimes that, like, can save your life, too. And, okay, Harbinger of Seas coming out here, turning all the non-basics into island. Now, there is a basic waste there. And a talisman. So, like, get access to red, get access to colorless. Like, so, not as worrisome, but... Okay, let's see. Colorless, and 2. We're going to do a Kozilek's Command. X is 2. Scry 2, draw 1, and create 2 01 Eldrazi's. We're doing this on the end step, so it doesn't actually impact or affect the Narset stuff. Was that a Trinisphere? Keep the mana leak on top. We'll draw that. Making 2 dudes. Okay, that's not bad. I like the mana leak. And a basic. Okay, pretty good setup here. Let's see. 1. Yeah, so we're tapping that, of course, for a colorless. And Reality Smasher, specifically keeping our island available for a mana leak. So Reality Smasher, trample, haste, and then when it becomes the target of a spell and opponent controls, counter that spell unless they discard a card. So we're going to attempt to go for Narset. In response, suspend, discarding the Murktide, and we're going to sneak that little Reality Smasher on over there. Still have access to a mana leak. We'll see if it comes in handy here. If like a Days Undoing or something gets played, that does help us out. Okay, just chipping away. 2 damage. I mean, advantage-wise, like, having the Harbinger, having the Narset, like, it still feels pretty good for a mono blue control player, but there's still just, like, something that it's like, we have this kind of impendingness here. So, attempt to play the Null Drifter. Counterspell, respond with the Mana Leak. Now, sadly, we only get to draw 1 card a turn. Yeah, but we have the Annihilator stuff. Is that a young Pyromancer? Not young Pyromancer, but seasoned Pyromancer. Get rid of all of these. Here's another Reality Smasher coming out. Let's smash this Narset. I like keeping the Narset in check, though. Like, you could make the argument of going face, but it's like, after seeing the Days Undoing in, you know, game 1, you kind of have this, like, fear of going, well, I'm very low on resources, and if they can get another one and refill their hand again, I'm going to be in a really tough spot. So keeping that off the table is really nice. Also, we see all these, like, Null Drifter, draw 2 cards, using Kozilek's Command to draw cards and set ourselves up. Like, there's a lot of flexibility of us trying to draw that we're not able to. And now the Narset comes down after the Murktide. What do we reveal? What do we find? Anything worthwhile? Okay, Mystical Dispute is pretty good. All right, you may cast the Reality Smasher if you choose to. I'd like to choose to do so. Reality Smasher's here. 2 5/5s. Now you're staring down a 7/7 Murktide. Let's see how this works out here. I guess you send the team Annihilator 1 trigger. Block the Reality Smasher that goes face here and just sacrifice. All right, send in. Oh, actually, looks like the choice is to send everybody at Narset. Annihilator trigger will go on there, and then we'll eat this Null Drifter. Take 0 because the creature you were attacking is already gone, or the Planeswalker you were attacking. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, then there was just the confirmation about, okay, what exactly, how does Annihilator work? And it's like, is it non-land permanent? And it's, nope, it's actually any permanent. As long as it's a permanent, you can sacrifice it. I mean, the Murktide is going to be the problem. Like, if you start racing, let's see, send 7 across. It's going to be close. I don't know. This is going to be a tough race. Oh, okay. Kozilek's Command X is 4, but that's going to force out the dispute. So doing that on the end step, trying to keep our opponent in check. We knew the dispute was there, so... Oh, that's another Reality Smasher. Yeah, I was going to say, like, if we sit here with the Murktide, eventually we will want to swing in, but now we probably can't. Here's our 3rd Reality Smasher. 3 coming across, that's 15 damage for lethal. 1's going to get eaten. 10's going to come across, though, dropping our opponent down to 4. And now we're kind of set up in a nice position to try to end it. Narset's going to come, though. Let's find an answer, hopefully. Maybe a suspend. That's the other thing of not running like white. We don't get things like Orm's Chant, Supreme Verdicts, Wrath of Skies. Like, we're in a tougher position to be in. So we have to rely on not letting anything stick onto the battlefield. And if anything does, we got to use suspend to send it away, essentially. Okay. I mean, swing in. Oh, okay. So we have the Null Drifter. It looks like this is all right. We're going at Narset. And he says, oh, you're going at Narset. We'll block one of it, eat it. Narset will die. I'll keep my Harbinger around. The choice was to try to block it, like just throw everything in the way so we didn't die there, because we thought it was coming at face. But now you see Null Drifter's going to be coming out here. So, of course, doing the evoke. Flare it, counter it. Now, it was evoked, but here's the problem, is it is a cast trigger that lets us draw the 2 cards. So we will be drawing our 2. Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt. Talk about runner here. And we've got, now that the Harbinger's gone, we have it. Bam. Oh my gosh. What a way to tie up the game here. Okay. And this, it's like, it's such a crazy deck from both players here. Like this Izzet Eldrazi deck that's like, yeah, I've got big crazy Eldrazi. Like here's a Reality Smasher swinging 5 at you. But also I've got my own control elements. All right. I'm running Mana Leaks. I'm running Lightning Bolts. And it's just sort of doing a little bit of everything here. Where the mono blue control is like, well, I'm going to just rely on my Planeswalkers and counter spells and try to keep all of your stuff in check until I can get to the late enough stages where I'll close the game out with a Murktide. Like that seems to be kind of the name of the game here. All right, consigns. Eldrazi Temple, let's pop a clue. Respond in here. Kozilek's Command, let's exile it and let's make a dude. Or draw a card. Either way, it doesn't matter because Flare Denial is going to put a counter to that, put a stop to that there. Now you might be wondering why. Well, it's like this: if they're making spawns or drawing cards or progressing their game plan, it might as well, right? Especially if you're like have other counter spells to follow it up, or you've got your own Tamiyo to follow it up. Like it's perfectly fine. All right. Another clue going to get created. All right. Fetching Steam Vents here. I don't know if there's any Surveil lands in the list. Maybe one of, but... yeah, basic. Get that basic mountain, but getting access to all 3 colors here. I say all 3 because colorless is very relevant. You know, you can't cast Reality Smasher without it. You know, we got to see that on camera a couple weeks ago with the, what was that? Devourer of Destiny needing the double colorless and going, oh, we don't have access to that when we've got things like Harbinger of the Seas out. But all right, attempting to do another Kozilek's Command here. Okay, in response, Archmage's Charm, the extra 2 cards here will let us be able to flip Tamiyo into our Seasoned Scholar. Now, this is on the end step here, so that does allow us to... yep, we drew 3 cards in a turn, so that first part of exiling Tamiyo is now gone. But we don't get an uptick it, so there is that element, at least right now, not upticking. We do get a, looks like scry and draw, decent number of cards here. Basic Waste, 4 mana. What do we got? Oh, 5 mana because it is our Eldrazi and Cohen right at Tamiyo here. Tamiyo is going to be eaten alive with a Reality Smasher, so we'd love to see it. Now, if we're sitting on a mono blue control side, we are trying to assemble something. We've got a clue, 5 mana to work with. Let's see. What do we got? Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, 5/5 Murktide. So we talked about that being like the closer. All right. Are we trading? Let's see. Yeah, there's the trade. We'll trade off. 2 mana left. Still could be a counter spell. Wait a minute. That's our only blue? No, we have access to blue. Okay, I was like, oh, counter spell hits it. All right. Yeah, I was like, ooh. But no, I like the idea of Thundertrap Trainer. Try to dig for something a little bit more useful there. And now we've got mana that we can be able to Tidebinder here. All right, Narset. That's fine. We've got our Tasha's Tidebinder if our opponent starts digging. Now, each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn is a static ability. Days Undoing, though, we just had it in hand. Oh, this is tough. Gonna lose a life, make a blue, and here's our Tidebinder, so we at least have a threat out. Yeah. Now, if our opponent had gone for it, right, and minus, we would have blanketed it out. It basically, if we countered it, it basically blankets out. And even the passive ability, all right, would not be able to be there anymore because it's basically like saying the card is blank. But really nice play there for a mono blue control player of not, down ticking it early or anything like that, because they already have the card that they need. Days Undoing here, so let's just kind of play Narset, play Days Undoing, get a whole new hand before we have to worry so much about doing the down ticking, especially because we're going to be shuffling our whole hand away, right? So there's no reason to be doing it, having all this stuff. Now, you could have done it differently if we were missing Days Undoing, right? If they didn't have Days Undoing, we would have been down ticking, then we might have gotten got by Tidebinder, but that is not the case. Beat's going to still come across there and chip away at Narset. What do we got left? Looks like a Talisman and a Bolt here. Tough spot to be in. I like this. Play the Talisman, set ourselves up for basically all the mana we need for doing some reality smashing later on. But now we're fighting down a full grip again. If you have not been playing Control or have not done the Days Undoing Narset stuff, it is definitely fun to be the one piloting it and resolving those spells. If you're on the receiving end, it is a tough spot to be in. It's a tough spot to fight back from, for sure. Oh, and a Suspend. Put the Tidebinder away one more time. Keep that in check. All right, more and more mana building up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, here's the beats. Hall of the Storm Giant. So I love that. You'll see that every so often as a one of. It looks like in this case we might have more than a one of for it, but. And there's, okay, Bolt's going to clean up. I like this. We're playing for our outs here. We're looking specifically... Oh, the Suspend should have ticked down to 1. We're looking because if Narset sticks around, another Days Undoing or something could happen. But also, it blankets our Null Drifter stuff. Ooh, another big beat of the whole Giant here. All right, and there looks like we're going to be scooping up here. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. So the players do get this conversation going. When it was, wait, wasn't this the turn that I was supposed to get this? It's like, hold on. If you want, we can play it out. We'll finish it up, right? Especially like with the. Yeah, look at this. These are in the graveyard. These were all on the battlefield. You had all those on the battlefield. All right, these are in hand. Okay. There we go. All right, we are going to finish it. We will see. Now we have a thread out. What can happen to finish this up? All right, Suspend on the end step. Luckily, we have a mana leak to stop it, so we don't die. All right, 1 card left. Oh, shocking. Or, sorry, bolting ourselves off of our MDFC. Another haul. Bring the beats for 7. All right, what do we got? Ooh, we have another creature, it looks like. So we're trying to stay... What is this creature? It's an Eldrazi. Oh, this is the Edge of Eternity's one. This one's actually really cool. So when it leaves the battlefield, draw a card, then you can put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal number of lands you control. It also has warp, but it doesn't matter because there's the flare, there's the handshake, and we kind of set ourselves up there. The mono blue control putting in work there. I mean, both decks, a little bit of a nuance, twistiness on existing decks in the format, but players kind of finding ways to kind of play their own game, which is so fun about Modern, is that you really can do what you want to do and like grooving out into so many different options here. So we get to see a little bit of the sideboard stuff of these players. That's one of the nice things that we try to include on camera for you guys to be able to see what players might be bringing in. Fluster Storms, Stern Scaldings. We get to see all kinds of goodies like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Of course, we do have gameplay every Monday and Thursday for you to be able to enjoy. And then we'll have some MTGO stuff soon to show you guys some of our avatar decks that we're brewing up and testing out, at least online. But that's going to do it for us here today. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching, y'all. And I'll see you all next game.